Good afternoon, or is it warm, bright and sunny day? It is Tuesday, April 4th. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And a parcel to continue unboxing. So what I have pulled out of here previously is this monster, which is DeGenesis Rebirth edition. It's a German post-apocalyptic role-playing game. Now, as I said before, you do not get to see many foreign role-playing games making it across into the English language, primarily because of the translation issues and time and effort it takes to translate from the original language into English. Of course, the English language dominating the role-playing hobby. So what's more common is that you will see the bigger, more popular role-playing games appearing in English and being translated into other languages. There are, of course, numerous examples of foreign language role-playing games being translated into English, or even publishers like Free League Publishing actually producing both in the home language and the English language. But DeGenesis has already had a version of this published in English by Catalyst Labs, I believe, would have been 2012, 2014, something like that, and I've reviewed it. But then publisher SIXMOREVODKA, now no longer going, you can get all the files for this game, download them for free, produced this massive tome, which was an update and representation of the content. Now, the other problem, of course, with the translation from European to the major English language, certainly American, is often the case of the sensibilities of the settings. In Europe, the content tends to be a bit more adult in turn, a more tone and more mature, which can lead to, as you'll see in this unboxing, because I've already unboxed Kartharsys. Let's have a look. Basically, Primal Punk, which is the setting book. Basically, setting and sort of like background book and so on. And then we have Kartharsys. Let's just check. And this has, this Kartharsys is essentially the rule book. This is sort of like the setting book, and it gives you all about the background and the various cults and organisations you can belong to, and the nations. This is the second book. This collects all the rules and so on for play. And I'm told, I have been warned, that there is some adult material in here. So be warned. So, Kartharsys. So, open this up. Book 2. We've got the content page. And chapter 5, leading on from the other book, game mechanics. I mean, I have no idea quite what the mechanics are going to be like in this version of the rules. Wasn't impressed by the rules in the last version, but here we have a list of all the. We've got the actions. So what we have is 6 attributes: body, agility, charisma, intellect, psyche, and instinct. Then we break the skills down by attribute. So typically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skills per attribute. So yeah, all clearly, simply explained there. And the layout here is really very, very simple. And I mean, I do appreciate that. It's not fussy. It's easy to read. It's not cramped either. There's a lot there, but it's not intimidating. And so we get explanation of the rules, which So what you're doing is you're rolling for successes equal to than higher the difficulty. So it's really sort of like it's a dice pool system. Presumably you're adding, your skill plus your attribute. That's it. Then we get on to protagonist and character creation, and here we actually have an interesting discussion, which that's you don't often see here. So I'll just show you that. And this section covers why this group and how they're related, friends, related, in for a penny, in for a pound, hired, who plays whom, and it's talking about roles. It's talking about what character roles you should take, almost like you have your roles in a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. Tank, healer, and so on, damage over time, that sort of thing. But here you've got 2 damage dealers, at least 1 support, spy or assassin, healer, silver tongue. And then you are looking at essentially the sort of kind of core roles for sort of like almost a standard group. You have somebody who can deal out damage, someone who can heal it, someone who can fix things, someone who can glibly talk their way around situations. So I've got the overview of the character over in the box there. And then we start talking about the cultures and the options here. So you've got the culture breakdown, simple list, and their bonuses applied to them. So you choose a culture, and they are all explained in this first book, DeGenesis, Primal Punk. So these are quite chunky, solid books. They do weigh quite a bit. And then concept. So going through, looking through like adventure, creator, mentor, hermit, that sort of thing. And then taking each of those, you've got 31 different options, and then the table there saying choose one of those options and you get a benefit for it. An attribute and an attribute bonus. Then you do the same for cult. And then backgrounds, allies, authority, renown, secrets, network. Essentially they're the elements of your character, and his background. And essentially so far what you've been doing is you've been generating bonuses to your stats. It's not a case of generate your bonus stats, then add your bonuses. It's do your bonuses first, and then apply your stats. So you can automatically see where your characters. Basically, you want to see where your character is good, and you can either try and balance that out, or you can focus on that's something you're really good at. And then we have ranks in the different, essentially the different cults and so on. So if you are so essentially if you're a Spitalian, there's this table of all, basically a flowchart of all the ranks and their explanation below. And so on, and then potentials appear to be special abilities. And then it's going to do the same for chroniclers and so on, all the way through. And it's going to explanations. I'm just going to flip through, and here you have a clanner, and yes, you kind of go, it's sort of like veering near chainmail bikini territory. But I mean, the art is kind of dark and oppressive, but it really works for it. I mean, the production values on this set are great. So yeah, that's an Anubian. Gemidarian. Apocalyptic. and a Baptist. So one of the things that is important here is a lot of these cults are actually religiously based. So there is that nature there. That we have a Paler who's lived much of their life in the vaults, and then we get into common potentials, and these are, I think, sort of special abilities. And then we have the final touches, just bits and pieces of equipment, dinars, currency, weapons, that sort of thing, just equipping the character, writing them out. And then, of course, you've got rules for progression, and there's an example character sheet there of a character ready to play. And then we get into having done character creation, core rules, battle. And it says, death is part of the game. Get used to it. I mean, no problem. I mean, it's horrible when a character does die, but it's part of the threat. And surviving is surviving a great threat is also a joy. So yeah, constantly impressed by the artwork in here. They're lovely looking books, a pair of them. And then we get onto the almanac, which explores the setting. So Bazaar, of course, is going to be your equipment guide. On the art of concession trade, and but trade and commerce is an important part of the setting, because you've got the certainly there's a Libyan-based, a North African-based cult dedicated to trade and commerce. You've got discussion of the various tech levels here, and then cult equipment, so equipment particular to each cult. So just sort of list equipment, weapons. So I'm just going to flip forward because I'm not going to show you. I mean, there's again really nice artwork in here. It's not that I'm trying to show you all the weapons, but again, they're impressive overall. Just flipping one through. So quite a lengthy weapon sections, and then you've got ammunition table and weapon quality. So combat can be quite detailed. What you use in use in combat can be helpful. There's the weapon tables. So let's flip on past the equipment. Should be coming in at the end, and it's going to do the same for armor. And then it's got because it's a post-apocalyptic thing, you've got rules for scrap and manufacturing things, basically jerry-rigging and kit bashing them and modifying them, to get them how you want your equipment to work, or just doing it on the fly. It's just in an emergency, and it's going to do the same for vehicles. So we even get into artifacts, because there are going to be devices left over from the apocalypse, and then chapter Burn, which is dealing with the spore infestation, which threatens the world, and how different cultures approach that. And we get into the Forbidden Zone, so from hell. Dealing with various different groups there, like the cockroaches who reside there, Numancers. So these are the threats. Mechans. Stook of Nomads. Corpse Eaters. Pandorians. They should look like they opened the box to very bad effect. Matadores. Matadors. Corregidores. Flayers. Scourging themselves. Romanos. Maasai. So different cultures, different backgrounds that you can encounter as you know, during your explorations of the new world. Then we have, you know, animals reborn like the mammoth, and monsters, you know, created by the apocalypse, and it's after effects. So spore eaters, Lepros. And Stook of Scorpions, very sort of like almost alien-like there, face hugger. And there are quite a lot of those. So artwork in here is fantastic. And then even you have trilobites have returned, and a lot more threatening than first thought. So yeah, you've got a lot in here. And then we have a section of machine men, and again you have the skull and crossbones there, sort of threatening, you know, these are threats. So there's quite a lot to explore in terms of background, in terms of threats. You know, again, great artwork. Marauders. Biokinetics. So a fantastic range of options and choices here. Oh yes, now we get to the Dushani. Yes, that's what it was pointed out to me. Yes, some of the artwork is a bit slightly adult. I mean, that's, you know, it's, you know, the whole point is essentially this is Ferromancers. That's a nice image, and you know, it captures the feel of this threat. So yeah, this is not really this is a role-playing game for mature players. And similarly, the pre-Gnostics, yes. So yes, you do encounter some nudity in here, but again, this is a European role-playing game. I wouldn't say it's to be expected, but it's not to be unexpected. And then we have the rules on guidelines for adventure creation. You know, so dealing with conflict, NPC creation, the plot, and so on. And then advice and hints for the game master. And I've got some scenario ideas, I believe. Locations, just things that the game master can bring into play, and then into the dust, the final chapter, a starting adventure, which is embargo, and the NPCs. almost down to the end, and then yeah, and then we've got, of course, the index, which I mean, so for a change is actually black, white on black rather than black on white. But yeah, and there's the character sheet at the end. So that is DeGenesis Kartharsys, which is book 2 of DeGenesis, the Rebirth edition. I say it's worth tracking down, because essentially you can get the core files, the rules in PDF certainly, for free to download, and worth taking a look at to see. You know, another post-apocalyptic, but again a German role-playing game with an interesting setting and feel to it. I think this is better explained than in previous editions. It's certainly better looking. Anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a package containing a book or game, which I'll unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.